request?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know at whose request this process was initiated.
Sure. So I think when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, I think it was on the 17th.
It was a week ago.
I think we spoke on the 17th, myself and you, 2 weeks ago, on a call.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago on Friday.
Yeah, just confirming that.
Yeah, so Friday the 17th, we had a discussion in the morning, and that discussion was me sharing various concerns on, that we'll also touch upon on this call, but that was, obviously we don't, as you've alluded to, we don't work directly together, but that the concerns I was sharing with you was based on feedback from a number of parties, including
and that
John,
that meeting was put into the diary by myself, correct? It was requested by me at the request of John.
It was John had asked you to
have a chat with you.
That meeting, and at the same time, John asked me to reach out to you as well. If you hadn't reached out to me, and I don't think you'd put that time in the diary. So I did.
I sent you the calendar invite. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think we don't need to go down that, but I did ask.
It was at my request, the meeting, so I just wanted to confirm that.
Okay, well, fine, let's move on. I don't think it's a particularly big issue. Can you just confirm that you've received and read the updated meeting invitation letter dated 28th of March and all of the attachments, including a copy of the disciplinary and capability policies and the information listed as the attachments?
Yeah, but I've read all that, understood it, and opened the attachments.
It's 15 hours.
Time.
Okay. Good. Okay, thanks. Right, so we're now going to go into some of the concerns. I'm going to start with the concerns to be heard under the capability policy. This is relating each of the concerns we've highlighted in the letter to you. So what I'll do first is I'll read out each of those concerns which you've seen per the letter, and then we'll just go into each of those. I'll ask a few questions around each of the concerns and give you the opportunity to share your thoughts.
Sure.
Okay, so concern one, just bear with us as I read it. So serious concerns relating to your deliverables and the inaccurate recording of your working time in the business world since you joined the firm on the 1st of September 2022. As discussed with John Stubbings, who's partner, on the 14th of March 2023, you've been advised on 2 previous occasions of the need to accurately record your working time, including during your goal setting in December 2022. To date, this has not been remedied. You have failed to record any chargeable time since you joined the firm, resulting in 0% productivity. This is a significant impact on the firm's ability to accurately charge clients for your work, and makes it difficult to account for the work you've been doing and where it added value. It's also a failure to follow reasonable management requests to accurately record your work and time. Okay, so as outlined, that was the concern per the letter, so I'm just going to ask a few questions. So as outlined in the timesheet policy, everyone in the firm is required to record their time, which I'm sure you're aware, and it's important that we accurately record that time on our Business World system. Can you explain to us the reasons why you were unable to record your time accurately on your timesheets? And is there anything we need to be aware of?
Yeah, so since I started, I was given kind of perfunctory training on how to use the timesheet system. Every project I've worked on, every request that's come through, and every request my team has asked me to do has not been accompanied by a appropriate project code. There are thousands of project codes in the system. It's gross misconduct to allocate time to a project code that is inaccurate. So, that I wouldn't do. This has been, every timesheet has been reviewed since I've submitted them weekly in September. I think only 2 were delayed by a few days due to holidays. So I've been submitting these timesheets since September 7th, basically. It has been raised that time should be allocated appropriately. I've requested on numerous occasions for project codes to allocate time to. These have not been provided. Therefore, I've been continuing to allocate to a learning and development code, which is, for me, an appropriate code for what I'm doing, because it involves coaching the team, learning about the business and learning about the project. So for me, that's appropriate. The fact that it's not allocated to clients is because I don't know which project codes to allocate them to. The other issue around project codes is the meeting of the 14th of March had a 2-week plan to put project codes back into the system. That was agreed with John. Therefore, there was no issue. It would have been resolved within 2 weeks, which was the time John gave me to amend my timesheet. So as far as I'm concerned, the project codes and the time allocation and the recording of time is a non-issue.
Okay, well, I suppose a couple of points on that. We all, I think as you alluded to, we get the training at the start when we join the firm around using Business World. This is the same training everyone receives. It's kind of mandatory training at the start. So we're expected to do that, and any issues you can raise on projects, it's the responsibility of all of us to obtain the right code, whether that be through requesting it from the team would be the usual way, the person who set up the job code, or speaking to whoever you need to speak to on that project to get that code and then record that time accurately. So it's a fairly standard request or standard process that we all go through within the team.
I can, in the follow-up after any adjournments, etc., I don't think today, because I need to gather the information, I can provide numerous emails where I request project codes and receive no response.
So I think, as we mentioned to you, you've been advised on 2 previous occasions of the need to accurately record your working time. I think you raised issues about recording on time on the timesheet. I think this was fully resolved via an IS service desk request on the 26th of September. So can you explain to me conversations you had with John in relation to the recording of your time on your work, on the timesheets?
I've been asking John for feedback pretty much since the day I started. Every one-to-one I've had a requested feedback. I've also specifically said, if there's anything which you're unhappy with, tell me straight away and I will, attend to it or fix that issue, which is exactly what I did in the meeting 2 weeks ago about the timesheets, where he said, this is an issue, because I've had complaints about it for some period of time, which I was annoyed about because I've been asking him for feedback of this nature for months on end and has not been provided. So anyway, the fact is he raised an issue that was an issue for him, and there was a resolution in place that would have been absolutely, completed within 2 weeks. So for me, the timesheets were not a major issue because they were not raised to me as a major issue in the last 6 months until 2 weeks ago on the 14th of March.
Okay. Well, I think John had raised it probably 3 times in total about the timesheets, and that was off the back of various discussions.
We've had informal discussions about timesheets. He's not raised it as a formal issue that was, potentially leading to a situation like this, which is what I've been requesting for 6 months.
And just picking up on the feedback request point, I think we note that one of your goals was around getting feedback, and I think we haven't got any. There's no feedback that you've requested or received.
I'll add this to my list. I can provide numerous written emails where I've requested feedback from my team, from other members of Taz and John on numerous occasions, including my one-to-ones weekly, which have not been in the diary for some time, but when they were in the diary, I requested that as a standing agenda item.
So can you explain to me, just going back to the timesheet point, so what do you think is the impact on the business and clients if your time is not recorded accurately on timesheets?
As far as I'm concerned, there's no impact. My salary's fixed, the project fees are fixed. If my time isn't recorded, essentially the project results in a profit that's inflated. It's not really an issue because the costs of all the project members are fixed. Costs are not allocated directly to projects on a per hour basis. The data analytics projects are fixed cost projects, so it makes no difference as far as I can see to clients because their costs are fixed.
Okay, I suspect as an associate director you probably should have been known this or become aware of this, but essentially, yes, our projects typically have a fixed fee agreed at the start of the project, but I would suggest that at least half of our projects, the fee evolves over time, and that's because of the work we do, additional work we do, additional support, extra value that we provide, and a lot of that evidence when we're coming up with, okay, we think we need this additional fee, and we talk to the client about it, a lot of that evidence comes from the time. That's the first source of evidence, the time that we put to codes. So it's really important.
Sure, but the clients don't know that.
Hang on, sorry, I'll try not to interrupt you. Try not to interrupt.
It's my condition. It doesn't. I find it difficult to know when to speak. So.
Okay.
Apologies.
Okay, thanks. No, thank you. Understood. Yeah, so it's important that we charge.